When I was a child, growing up in the city of Atlanta, there was a park on my street we used to go to all the time. It was called Orm Park. There was a tall, rickety wooden swing set that was clearly not safe for children, but we didn't care. We would swing as high as we could, jumping off at the very top and trying to grab the branches on the way down. It's very safe. On the other side of the park, one summer we found a rope with bicycle handlebars attached. And we would climb up the tree and swing out over the park before falling into a pile of leaves on the ground. I built forts in the creek with my friends here every summer, and I learned to ride a bike here. These days, the park is a different place. The swing set is gone, replaced with a safer one, probably for the best. And the dirt path where I first rode without training wheels is now a concrete walkway. But when I visit this park on walks with my dog, these places are still real to me. I see them there, and I remember. And I know I'm not the only person that feels this way. I graduated from the University of Georgia back in December, and I moved back to Atlanta, back to my home. Besides being a graphic designer by day, my secondary trade has developed into making maps for music festivals, weddings, birthdays, and things like that. Mapping is an incredibly flexible medium. You can take the same geographical area and completely change the tone and the purpose of the map simply by what you include. Stories and personal histories overlay each other invisibly in real space, and my favorite part is making them visible. I looked at some historical and collaborative projects surrounding the city of Atlanta, and I started to notice some things from them. For example, there's a project called Map ATL, and their main goal is to crowdsource reports of crime in the area, so we know where more crime is happening. We always know to be safe when walking the city streets, but knowing where more crime is happening is valuable information for city dwellers. Collaborative efforts like this make people feel in control of their environment, and like they have a voice. The focus on personal histories is also on the rise with apps such as TimeHop, which aggregate your social media presence and show you where you were 1 or 2 or 3 years ago. Nostalgia is a very strong emotion with people. It runs very deep, and it's not easily ignored. The poet Etel Adnan once said, "Maps are not about shapes, but about energies flowing in and out of places. They are about directions and obstacles, the circulation of blood and the blood of cities." I have so many memories of Atlanta that I want to share with other people, and I want to know their memories too. I wanted to somehow create a large-scale interactive experience existing in real space for people to contribute to, learn from each other, and share. I knew I wanted to do mapping for my senior exit thesis, but in the beginning I wasn't sure what direction to go in. After several confusing attempts, including a map I made out of pizza, this is what I came up with. I spent several months in Adobe Illustrator redrawing everything inside the perimeter of Atlanta, and I built this complex web into a 6-foot-tall map. At our senior exit reception, I provided about 200 blank tags, and I asked people to approach the map, write down their memories of the city, and pin them to the location where they happened. It was an experiment of sorts. I kept the directions very open-ended and told people they could write whatever memory they wanted. It didn't need to be some kind of all-powerful, meaningful memory. It could be something as simple as, "I had a burger here once." And the responses were awesome. There was so much variation, but for the most part, they were extremely positive. People shared funny memories, powerful memories, and basic facts. I noticed over the course of the exhibition, people were going back and reading tags left before them. Someone might read 10 or 15 tags before adding their own and further contributing to the web. This allows people to interact with each other and tell their story. There were several tags simply indicating where people lived or where they grew up. For the most part, the tags described a specific moment in time that was impactful to this person, like being independent for the first time or finally being accepted by your peers. People were often placing tags in the same location with interesting results. And although these two tags are probably not related, I would like to think that this is a snapshot of a day in Atlanta, of a well-intentioned date that went horribly awry. This call and response type of pinning is evidence of a narrative taking place. Memory maps can even be tied to specific events. Back in January, when a few inches of snow brought Atlanta to its knees, I saw Facebook groups with tens of thousands of people reaching out for help, and even more people offering food and rides and shelter. I heard stories of buses of school children spending the night in office buildings to stay out of the cold. And I heard stories of people stuck in their cars for 10 and 11 hours, being able to come into Kroger and Publix and eat for free. These people are building memories all over the city of Atlanta. Can you believe, or can you imagine what this would have looked like on a map? Since the conclusion of the Atlanta project, I've taken collaborative mapping digital for TEDxUGA. I've created a Twitter, it's called You Are Here UGA, and I've asked people to submit their memories to me that way, via tweets. I then go in by hand and place these memories on a public map for anyone to see and share. It's the first step in making this project sustainable, and I'm excited to see how it grows and develops. I've also noticed during this leg of the project is that people have been replying to tweets. They've been including pictures and video and emojis, and furthering their ability to tell their story in a way that wasn't possible with the digital map. As you walk through campus today, think of the story that you're now a part of. This university is over 200 years old. Think of the people who have come before you, and think of their stories. Collaborative mapping ties people together and makes them part of the larger story, of the larger narrative of the city. Because of these maps, we stop being individuals, and we become a community with a past, a present, and a future. Thank you.